special guest host today. Our girl Rachel is a little under the weather, so we brought an amazing guest to come in and take her place for today. We have Miss Vonda Morris here to be our guest host. So thank you, Vonda, for coming in. Standing in for Rachel. Thank you, Vonda, for coming in. Welcome back to Vanities Live.
Well, hello, and thank you for just, even inviting me. And Ray, you feel better.
Send up
Yes,
some hearts for Ray, everybody, and welcome. Come on in to Vanny's Live. We're happy to have you guys streaming on Facebook, Instagram, and also YouTube. Make sure you like, follow, and share. Tell all your friends. Come on in. We got a great Vanny's Live and an amazing special guest who's also worked with me and
I'm
Vonda.
trying to
It's going to be
find
a
it.
really good
Sorry.
one today, you guys. So come on in. So Vonda, we had a great week this week. Like we had a really great. Me and you've been talking all week long,
Yeah.
in Texas here together about what's been going on with some current events this week. You want
We
to talk
talking about
about?
the DNC,
I'm talking about the DNC.
Camilla.
it was
Yes,
it
yes.
was great, right?
It was good from the beginning to the end. I mean, if you didn't watch that, then you missed out. Like, that was better than the Super Bowl. That was better than the Olympics.
That was like a party, a 4 day
Yes,
party.
yes, yes.
That
I
was
have
like
to say too, thank you for having me. I love you guys so much that I decided to to come in here. For me, I just gave birth to like 8 puppies, so it's like okay, I'll do it. Oh, let me go put this for the puppies. But I'm here. I'm excited for you guys. I'm always here to support you. Glad to join in. And yes, let's talk about that DNC.
and congratulations on your 8 puppies, Vonda. That's
Oh,
she was busy, wasn't she? She was carrying a whole lot.
and she didn't even look like it. We were thinking like, oh, we was like, it's gonna be another month. I'm like, October, no. I left yesterday. I was on a flight. When I got on the flight, she had 2 puppies. When I landed, she had 6. When I got home, we had 2 more.
Wow. Wow. She was
So
carrying
that's
a
why I was
whole.
like, oh, let me put tie his hair up. I like, let me do something real quick. So, you know,
Well, you
you
look
know me,
great.
you know me.
Well, the DMC, that was a party. That was a real party. I was
Yes.
running from set, trying to get back every night to make sure I could see as much as I could. Can we give it up for Michelle Obama?
Did she steal the show or what?
Oh my good. She put it down
You
like,
mean, you know what I told? I said, this is what my example what she did. If you were from the South and you had a grandma, she went out there and got that tree. She pulled that switch and she just cleaned the leaves off of it.
whoosh, 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 whoosh. She
She
really
gave
did.
him a
You know
whooping.
what? With so much class and elegance. Like
Yes.
she did that. She really did.
Yes.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
You know what? I'm
all of
not.
it. I think, for one, it kind of made me think that, Joe knew he was going to get out of there. Like, how
Yeah,
could they plan that in 3 weeks? You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So whatever their plans was, I just call it the mastermind because they got everybody riled up. I hope all of you out there, especially in our world, if you're a part of the any makeup world, any working force in America, get out there and vote because they support unions, they
Yes.
support work. We need to make sure that they win and get out there and do whatever we can to make sure they win.
Absolutely. So make sure you cast your vote. If you have not registered yet, make sure that you go out and register as soon as possible. Okay. Get out there and make sure you cast your vote. So, Vonda, on Vanities Live, we do something every Sunday that we like to do. It's called trivia. And I think you guys are going to be familiar with this trivia question. And I know you know the answer, but kind of hold tight a little bit. So, we're going to throw our trivia out. Let me put it out here for everybody. So, here it is. On the Bernie Mac show, and I know you worked on the Bernie Mac show.
Oh, listen, I
Bernie
almost
Mac
did
is
like
your
this.
guy,
Look,
right?
there he is.
On the Bernie Mac show, Bernie's nickname for his niece, Brianna, was what? A, pumpkin, B, baby girl, C, peanut, or D, sugar? We want you guys to all jump in and tell us what do you think his niece's his nickname that he had for his niece. I know you know, Fonda. I know you know.
Not all the time, but I do.
Come on, y'all. And you know what? Ray is in there, and I know she know, but don't tell. So you guys, come on, make sure you drop it in the comments, whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. What did he call his niece on the Bernie Mac show? And may he rest in peace. I love me some Bernie Mac. And I know you
Well,
got some stories about Bernie Mac.
listen, I was with Bernie Mac for years, and my kids. As a matter of fact, you see him behind me right here, and I have a whole selection of items over the years that I have from Bernie. It's just he was the best. He was the best, and it's so wonderful because once all we have is memories.
Yeah,
We make them, we cherish them, and I thank God to have them because he was the
yeah.
best.
And our special guest actually worked on the Bernie Mac show as well. So we'll talk about that when she gets on. She's simply amazing. And I know you've had, she's worked with you as well. So she's really a sweetheart, I must say. I
It
enjoyed
really
working with
is.
her. So, we got an exciting special guest. She's quiet, but she's a little ball of fire at the same time.
Yes.
So can't wait to get her on to
And,
talk.
and one thing I like to say about our special guest is that no matter, whenever I'm working, she know that I'm definitely, that's one of the first calls that I make is to her
Oh,
because I like good energy. I like great people. And she's really, I always tell people sometimes it's better to be seen and not heard. And
mm-hmm.
she is a great example of that.
She really is. She's just a sweetheart, silent but sweet, and just a pleasant person to be around, and very talented, might I add. So you guys jump on in. Let me shout out to my brother. I won't say what I want to say, but yeah, kind of cute at it too. Don't beat me up. So you guys, come on, jump in the comments. Let us know what you think the answer is. So I'll read the question again. On the Bernie Mac show, what is Bernie Mac's nickname for his niece Brianna? A, pumpkin, B, baby girl, C, peanut, or D, sugar? Which one do you guys think it is? You guys ready for it? Vonda, you want to shout out the answer? Oh, shucks.
We have an answer.
We have an answer. How I'm going to tell it? I know y'all heard him
I
say
know
baby
the answer.
girl plenty of times. Baby girl, baby girl.
Baby girl. It is baby girl.
Over
I don't even
here.
think I've heard peanut. I don't even know I ever heard him say peanut.
Yeah, Bernie Mac, I mean, what a talented individual. Just so gifted, so talented. Always laughing and smiling. I mean, one of the true greats, I must
you,
say.
Bernie Mac will make you feel like you're the only one in the room with him. I mean, when he sits down and he talks to you, he just gives you everything he got. And
Yeah.
he's so personable, and he would just make sure that, like, when we did this particular film that's behind me, Mr. 3000, he would, in between takes, he would
Hmm.
entertain the audience
Oh, wow.
like a free show every night. So, yeah, he was great.
I know it had to be fun going to work every single day. Every single
It
day.
was always something and always an adventure with him. And he took good care of us. And, you know, um, when you are such a great person like him, I can almost understand why the Lord would want to take him and have him to himself,
Yeah.
at such a
Oh,
young age.
yeah. He liked, well, I'm not gonna say that, but he loved us all. But you know what? Some people are just so special.
Yes.
Like, you know what?
Yes.
You so special. I want you over here with me.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
shout out to
Sometimes your
that.
purpose is sometimes is short but sweet.
Short but sweet. I agree. Short but sweet. Well, you know what? I think we can bring our guest in just a minute or two early. She's sweet too. So why don't we just
That's a
go
good
on
introduction.
why don't we go on and bring her in? Come on in, Patrice. Come on in,
Hi.
Hi,
Patrice. Patrice Bankhead, welcome to Vanities Live. We are so
Thank
happy to have you here. Come on in.
thank you. Thank you for having me. Hey V, how y'all doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good, good, good. I've been listening to y'all backstage and talking about Bernie, and I'm like, yeah, once he stopped giving me a hard time, and Bondi knows about that one. He was a sweetheart. Yeah, he always. I know that was his way of showing me that he liked me, but yeah, he would do
Yeah.
stuff to me all the time, give me a hard time,
Patrice, why
more
don't you
than
tell
yeah.
our audience
But
who
it
you
was
are?
funny though.
Why don't you tell our audience who you are and a little bit
Who
about
I
what you do and what you've done?
oh okay. Well, my name is Patrice Bankhead. I'm a journeyman makeup artist for local 706 out here in California, and I've been in the industry in 706 for 24 years
Oh,
and
wow.
doing makeup for like 26. And before that, I went to makeup school like in the 90s, but it took me years to get in the union, which is the story for a lot of people. It takes them, more than, especially if you don't have anybody in the industry that the nepotism thing angle. And, for me, it took me a whole minute to get in, like from the time I graduated from makeup school, it was like 7 years. So um, after that, one of my first shows was a kids show that I just enjoyed, was called Even Stevens. And that's where everybody knows Shia LaBeouf. That's where he got his start at. And after that, meeting Vonda on some shows. I think we worked on the practice. I worked on the practice one day with her, and then later was Bernie Mac. But in between then, I worked on features. I worked on Princess Diaries 2. I worked on Triple X
Oh,
2.
wow.
Um, next
It's hard to do
America's
a
Next Top
resume
Model for I don't know how
every
many seasons.
Oh, that's awesome.
It is. Trying to think about
It's
everything.
hard to go back and miss
Yeah,
that. It
because
should be
I
right there in front of you. It's like I did.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
I think I were
So
American.
yeah, it's exactly it's a lot, and you draw a blank sometimes, when people ask you what have you worked on,
right.
so
You almost like have your resume in front of you, right?
yeah, you kind of do, and but most after like Triple X, I kind of fell into TV, and that's how I started doing like Bernie Mac and see, now I'm drawing another blank. Um, America's Next Top Model that I worked in for years. I worked on a show called Good Trouble. That was like around the time of COVID. So a
Hmm.
lot of times those COVID years, it was kind of hard to think about stuff that you worked on because everybody was masked up and you couldn't really see anybody and you couldn't do, it was that was kind of challenging. I did a show that nobody saw called Call Your Mother, which was on, it was an ABC show with Kira Sedgwick. Nobody know, that's Bacon's wife, if anybody knows about Kevin
Hmm.
Bacon. And she had a show back called The Closer and all that. But um it's just been a lot. I've done a lot of stuff. I just can't think of it off the top of my head right now.
But you were also a hairstylist first. Kind of tell me about that and what made you decide to switch to focus on makeup.
Well, I always wanted to be a makeup artist, but
Hmm.
in the little town that I grew up in Michigan, um, I went to a job fair for seniors in high school. So that, I don't know, of occupational fair or whatever, so you could see what you wanted to be after you
Hmm.
graduated high school. And cosmetology, there was a table there, and they said it was a study of hair and makeup. So I
Hmm.
said, since I wanted to be a makeup artist, I'm thinking, okay, I can do both. That's no big deal. And I wound up getting into a cosmetology school and thinking that it's going to be like half and half. And it was not. It was like one chapter on makeup and everything else was hair. And I almost wanted to just quit right there. I just wanted to drop out. I was so upset. And I wound up just going ahead anyway. And coming out here where my father lived to get my license. And I started doing hair out here. And after a few years, I started looking up makeup schools, and they were really kind of expensive because they wanted the money up front, and I didn't have it. And finally, I got one where they had financial aid, and I went through there. But that whole time, my job was a hairdresser, so I was doing hair for right out of high school for like 18 years. So I used to call myself the Jerry Curl Queen, because back in the 80s, that's what everybody was getting, you know. So I was doing that all the time. And back then, you wasn't really wearing gloves, you know, so my hands would smell like that thioglycolate, you know. It was mm-hmm. So yeah, and my clothes, you know, just as soon as you get home, you gotta, you know, take your clothes off. It was something, but it was fun. You know, I enjoyed my time as a hairdresser, and I still have my license. So, you know, I don't know if when I'm gonna give that up. Probably after I retire or something. But you know, I just keep it anyway.
You was letting people's souls glow.
Yeah,
And anybody that knows that Jerry
I
Curl,
did.
I can still smell it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And thank God in the 90s, you know, people started getting out of that. So, you know, that was a relief, you know. So, but yeah, that kind of changed, of course, in the 90s, and then of course the 2000s is when I started doing more makeup and everything, and just kind of sliding on into that.
I have a question for you, Patrice. When
Yeah.
you transitioned from the hairstylist to makeup,
Yeah.
what was that like for you?
It was initially it was kind of hard because I was still at the shop. I was still working in the salon, and there were times when I would get a movie, and the movie was only like, you know, 17, 18 days long, because I was trying to get my days in those crazy 15-hour day shows. So I would just not work during the week and try to work on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like, and the weekend would just be Saturday. So I'd be working 5 days a week on a movie, and then one day at the shop. And it seemed like everybody that I couldn't do on the week would come in on Saturday, and I would just be exhausted. It was just too much. And then finally, after I got on my Disney show where I was working all the time, I had to eventually just tell them I can't do this anymore. I got to transition over to doing makeup full time. And so that's what I did.
Can you kind of break that down? Because some people may not understand the process of getting your union days, what that means and how that process works. And it may work different from a mechanical union to a hair and makeup union. Can you kind of break that down and explain
Right.
how
Right.
that works?
Okay. For us, you have to do 60 days of work for 3 years within a 5-year period. We call it 60-60-60. And so and you have to like save your check stubs and all that kind of stuff so that they could investigate, as they say. And so I have to do 60 days of what I can, you know, non-union work, which I would do a movie for like a Lifetime movie. That's what I did a lot when I was trying to get my days. And but what happened was in the middle of my getting 60-60-60, like in my second year, I got on a movie that turned union.
Mm.
So I didn't have to do that anymore. What I had to do was have 30 days of union work, and that would get me that would meet my qualifications to get in the union.
Okay. All right. I think it's time
Mhm.
for a break. Let's play a little game. You ready to play a little game? And I think we can play this all together. It's called Would You Rather? Would you
Oh my
rather wear
God.
tights or pantyhose? This is going to be for all three. So let's go with you first, Patrice.
Wait, would I rather wear pantyhose or what?
Or tights.
Pantyhose, because tights are thicker. That's At
What
least they're
about
thinner.
I'm wearing tights.
I think I'm gonna wear
I,
tights too.
I
I
don't.
can't
I'm
do
not
no
wearing tights.
pantyhose with them runs down, running down my legs.
You know, especially my
I,
mother,
I'm good.
educator.
I'm good.
So
I'm good with that.
my mother was an educator, and it was always pantyhose. When I went for my first department head job, she was like,
Uh-huh.
"You need to put on. Where's your pantyhose?" I was like, We don't wear pantyhose in this business." So
I'm
it would
like,
definitely
oh
be tights.
man.
Ah,
You remember when
it's
people
funny.
wear them and they get a run and they would put nail polish on it to stop the run?
Stop the run. Cut one leg out so you can wear that
Yep.
leg and get a good
Yep.
look.
I remember that.
Okay. Would you rather watch a romance movie or a sci-fi movie?
Me or
Yes.
who? Me? Oh
Yeah.
gosh. I would say sci-fi.
What about you, Vonda?
Sci-fi.
I'm a romance girl. I can't do sci-fi. I'm like, I want
I
one of
like
them mushy
action.
so I could cry all day.
Yes. I
Yeah.
Okay.
like creativity of the action, things you can see. Romance, you getting straight.
Yeah.
Like, I got to
And
get all. I like to see work. I like to see what's
and
going
with the
on.
sci-fi, right. And sometimes with the sci-fi, I like to see any kind of effects that they're using. I like to
Yes.
see what they're, how
Yeah.
how good they are.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be
Yeah.
all mushy. Oh, that's
Mm-mm.
me, y'all. Okay. Would you rather work days or nights?
Say that again.
Would you rather work days or nights?
Oh, days for sure.
I don't mind day or night. I love what I do so much. I'll come whatever time it is. I'm all about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide.
I have to say, one. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sharice.
I think I'm kind of torn to be honest. I kind of like nights in
Mm.
a way. I like coming in a little later,
Mm. Yeah.
but I'm a morning
Well,
girl. That's
I thought, yeah, I thought that at one time, but I did a movie um right, early in my career where it was all nights. It was
mm-hmm.
8 weeks of nights.
Oh,
And
wait.
I thought, "Oh, I'm a night owl. I could do this." I didn't know my name at the end of that show. That's how bad it was. It was terrible. I mean, you could not you call time was like between 6 and 7:30 every day. And you had to work all night long until about 8 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock in the morning. And you come home to the gardeners with their leaf blowers and stuff, and you can't sleep. And I was like, yeah, no, I definitely like mornings as far
No,
as
not
as far as
that
work
many
goes.
nights. I'm talking about one every now and again.
I like either way
Okay,
because
okay.
I like
Because
my
one,
mornings. I like the mornings for the traffic.
Yeah.
Get there early before everybody get out.
Mm-hmm.
But I like nights
mm-hmm,
because nights you get
right,
a chance. I mean, I think the crew feels a little different at night, and you
Yeah, it
guys
does.
you kind of bond a little more at night because
Mm-hmm.
it's like we all tuckered in. We know we got to get through this, but during the
Yes.
day we know we getting it done. But we're gonna get
yeah.
off. It's like regular schedule. But at night, it's
Mm-hmm.
something special about nights to me.
That's true. Okay, would you rather sleep on your
Once
stomach or your back?
once in a okay. Stomach. I can't do my back.
Oh yes, stomach.
I used to do stomach. Now I'm a back person. I don't know where that came from, but I got to sleep on my back now. Okay. Would
Mhm.
you rather have a slush or a
Mhm.
smoothie? Patrice?
Smoothie.
Smoothie?
Smoothie.
What
Yeah.
about you, Wanda?
I like a smoothie.
I like a smoothie too.
Only time I want a slush is maybe if it's a little wine slush thing, but
Oh,
a
okay.
smoothie.
Find a little wine slush.
Yeah.
I just tried one and it was great.
Wine.
Yeah, I can imagine that being a smoothie,
Would
but
you rather
No, I
fresh
bet it
air?
was. Yeah. Right.
Would you rather fresh air or air conditioning?
Mm.
fresh air for me.
Um, it depends on how hot it is outside. If that fresh air is hot, I'm like, no, give me the air conditioning.
I like fresh
So
air.
I don't know.
Okay, and last
Yeah.
one. Single story or a two-story home?
Single story for me.
What about you, Vonda?
I have a 2-story. I'm not quite tired of it. Um, so that's a hard one because I don't even know I don't even know what it's like to live in a single story home.
Yeah,
I was raised in a 2-story. I own a 2-story, and I just feel being privileged just saying I have a home.
right.
So
Yeah.
2-story.
Yeah.
I've been both, but that's a tough one too. Excuse me, I'll say two-story.
Mm.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
it.
I was raised in a 2-story house and a
Excuse me.
3-story actually because we had an attic. So, but I like the single story since I've had both.
Excuse me.
Oh,
Patrice, you said you worked on Next Top Model. How was that
yeah.
experience for you?
That was very, very, very interesting. I I didn't we didn't do much of the interaction with the actual models, actually.
Mhm.
I worked with the panel that did, the judges. I
Okay.
would I would do the makeup for them.
Mm-hmm.
Every once in a while we would do a runway show and we would do the models, the makeup for that. But as far as, being with them, because a lot of times it was just them at the house and everything. So
Mm-hmm.
the only time we would see them is when they would come to the studio for like elimination and just to that was basically it, pretty much. Those. So I
Okay.
would do the guest judges or mine at the time was Andre Leon Talley, the one of the models. I
Okay.
mean, one of the judges on the panel. I
Mm-hmm.
would do his makeup. Yeah,
With
and he was a character. He was something else.
you say
Mhm.
that, Patrice, and I find it interesting because the when we talk about different sets for makeup and shows, um, when you're working on shows with
Mhm.
judge panel and then you have talent as well, it's interesting because there are different makeup divisions for different areas. Like you could be doing the judges, and then
Yeah.
there's a whole other makeup area to do the talent. So it's interesting that you say that you never
Mhm.
really sometimes even collaborate with the models because sometimes there's different sections or different areas for the makeup and hair team. That's very interesting, and a lot of people don't know that when they're watching.
Right.
Right.
They just
That
think
is a
it's
good
all one
point.
group of people getting
No.
everybody
Right.
together,
Right.
and it's not.
That is a good
Mm-mm.
point that you brought that
No,
up,
it
Vonda,
isn't.
because people don't
When
realize that there are different teams for different aspects of not only for Next Top Model, but also for award shows. When you're doing award shows, they see the artists, but there are teams for the host. There are teams for people who are in the gifting rooms and different aspects of those shows. There are tons of different teams for even the people who are sitting in the
Right.
audience. So and you said you worked on award shows as well. What part of what team did you work on when you were working on award shows? Was it with the celebrities, or where did you work?
No, I worked when I did award shows, we would do like say the BET Awards. We would work on
Mm-hmm.
the dancers of
Mm-hmm.
certain performers. So
Okay.
like a certain performer wanted their dancers to look this certain way, and then
Mm-hmm.
another performer would want their dancers to look this certain way. So they had different ideas for what their dancers want, what they wanted their dancers to look like. And then for the same for like when I worked on the Oscars, they all those different performances that they would have during the show, we would our department head would collaborate with us and give us storyboards as to what they wanted those people to look like. And not everybody, as far as the hosts and whatnot, they have their own makeup artists, so I'm not sure, whatever they are supposed to be doing, that's what they're going to be doing as well. So it's all different.
That's such a great question. I mean, great point that you brought up, Vonda. We hadn't talked about that before, but and because people are going to bring different makeup for different things. If it's for an artist, it might be something that may be more fantasy or creative, and you're going to bring something a little different for the dancers. So I love that you brought that point up. I think that was very interesting because I didn't even think about that before. It's so many people behind the
It's
scenes.
so many
It's so
behind the
many
scenes,
people.
and
Hmm.
what it is
It
that
is.
production has to be mindful of what can keep that production rolling.
Hmm.
So if they have to set up where, okay, we have judges on this side of the stage, they're going to have their people, so we set them up over here. We have the dancers being creatively done downstairs, so we could have them there. Everybody can't be in one place, so it's different areas and so many
Mm,
different jobs when they have these different shows. And that's for like game shows, all those
Hmm.
different kind of setups. You have different
right.
areas for different people, and it's so many good. That's just to let people know how many jobs that are really being
And
creative
we're
with all the.
badged differently too. So when you're
Mhm.
working for those different shows, they have different badges for different areas. A lot of times they're different colors too. If you're in this area, you're going to get
Right.
zone B or zone A or main talent, background talent. So they have different badges so they know that you can go in this area, but you cannot go in this area. Only certain
That's
people can
true.
go in this area here. So
Right.
just so our audience will know how this works when you're working behind the scenes, you have access to only certain areas when you go behind the scenes. They
Hmm.
have green rooms and they have different green rooms for certain this talent here. But if you're working with the dancers can maybe go over here, but they can't go in this access over here in this particular green room. So, like I said, that's a really good point that you brought up.
And I have a story about different access. I was working on Everybody Hates Chris at the Paramount lot, and we had badges, and they were the icon, the mountain of Paramount and it was brown. And at the time, they were shooting the the last Indiana Jones movie. This was
Hmm.
back in 07, 08. The not this present one, but the one before.
Hmm.
And they had badges that were the same, but they were blue. And in any other time, we could walk around any part of that lot, but they had it marked off, and it's like if you didn't have those blue badges, you could not get back there for nothing, because we were trying to just see what was happening, because we work on the lot too, but it's like, nope, no, you work on the lot, but you don't work on this part of the lot
Right.
because you ain't got that blue badge.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So, ladies, let's talk about some of your favorite
Yep.
must-haves in your set bag.
Mm.
So, if you guys, let's start with with you, Patrice, do you have some items that you just must have that you always like to bring to set? And if you do you mind showing our viewer audience some of the products that you always bring to set in your set bag?
Okay, in my set bag.
Some goodies.
Um, well, one of the things I have to make for makeup for one thing is this, which is what am I doing? Krylon, which is a micro primer,
Pull it up a
and
little bit
I use
closer.
that on the face.
Pull it up a little closer.
Wait a minute. Is that close enough? Can you see it?
Nope.
Yes,
Okay.
God, it's right there.
I can see it.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can see it.
and yeah, you can see it, right? Yeah, and I like this because their slogan says skincare is a science, which I think is great because of the fact that, scientifically we have to, our skin is chemically balanced and everything, and it needs care. And I think that really makes a good point of how they do their products. And also what I like about this is that it's a silicone based product. So when you put it on the face to prime, it kind of blurs out the pores. And it also, when you put on your foundation, it sits on top of the primer as opposed to sinking into your skin. So, and
Okay.
and therefore it makes your makeup last a whole lot longer. You ain't got to touch it up, all the time, because it's already, not, not, not sinking in. So that's one. And this one, I don't know if you could see that. My lotion that I always have in my kit, and that's the Mario Badescu Olive Rich Body Lotion. Because I can't have none of my actors being ashy. No, that ain't gonna happen. So that's you know that's that. And uh what another one that I've used since I was in the industry. I don't know if you could see that. It's Clinique
Mm-hmm.
Moisture Surge. It's a moisturizer,
Okay.
and that's one of the first things I've had in my kit forever, and I still use it. And it's a great moisturizer. It's got SPF in it, and
Okay.
it's just really, really, really good. Hmm.
So those are
So
you have
that's what
brought
I
three items.
have in my kit all the time.
Okay. Well, Vonda, do you
Yes.
have anything you
You-
want to
You
share
know
with
what? I
us?
actually don't have anything that I can visually show you because, like I said, it was like I wasn't really thought I could get it all together really quick, but I wasn't able. But one of the things that I like to have in my kit that I absolutely love is also a primer. I always have to have a good primer, and the primer that I like is the Giorgio Armani primer,
Okay.
and that
Mhm.
goes with me everywhere. I mean, primer is so important because just as Patrice said, it's, you want to put that on, you want to put it on the skin because what you don't want to do is to be chasing your makeup.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't want to do that.
Mhm.
And I always have Kiehl's lip balm is one of the things that I always like to have in my set. One another thing that I think that's very important for everyone to have in their set bag is a well, I like to get a stackable, and I
Okay.
like to have in my set bag, especially if I'm going to day play, which
Mm-hmm.
I know I shouldn't even speak on it, but if you're day playing, when you have a little stackable, try and think of condensing everything down where you'll have simple stuff like you never know they'll ask for, like sweat gel in a
Mm-hmm.
little container. You have your powders, your dirt, all these different things, a little bit of blood, a little bit of thing in a little stackable, just for those unthinkables. I like to have that kind of thing with me no matter where I go.
Mhm. Yep, I agree.
I brought a few things that I like. I got some hair and some makeup items since I do both. But these are some of my little favorites, and these are the little Bousset holders, and you can put lipstick, you can put makeup, and let me see if I can get it. Can you guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
I love these little things, and you know what? I like to even carry them in my purse where you can put, and they come in different sizes. They have the ones with 4 or 6 little holders in them, but you can put, they're just little organizers, and you can put lipsticks, you can put blushes, cream blushes, you can put foundation, you can put concealers, but you can do a whole face with these things. I have a ton of them, but you can do a whole face, and I love to carry these in my set bag. So, where am I? I
So I
carry
have a
these.
question with those.
Mm-hmm.
Just do you find that when you because we all get all kinds of makeup and we have
Mm-hmm.
so much, when you condense things down to a smaller, it kind of makes your makeup last a little longer and
Mm-hmm.
it gives it an opportunity to stay fresh.
Right.
So do you find that to be true, or it's just
Absolutely.
okay? Okay.
I love these. These are like my little babies. And I mean, when you have to go somewhere and you don't have um, a lot of time to move fast, I mean, to move, you can move really fast and just grab these things, throw them in there, and you can just boom, boom, boom. Another thing that most makeup artists I know have is black opal, invisible powders. You
Powder.
can see I've used this quite a bit, but for a makeup artist who doesn't have this, and if you don't have it, I highly recommend that you put this in your makeup bag. So this is the invisible blotting powder, and I love this little water bottle, this little mini water bottle. Hair and makeup artists normally tend to carry this around. If you don't have it, this is something that you may want to add to your set bag. And for hairstylists, I condense these little hair fibers, and I have quite a few colors in here. And I carry these around in my set bag. I'll open it up and I label them because I'm one of them little organized freaks.
I wanted to say it. I wanted to say it, but I was going to let her slide. Let me tell you something. You want organization, she should just have a whole show about being organized
I
because
said I'm gonna do a class, Bonja.
she
Yes,
should do a
she
class
she should.
about being organized because,
Yeah.
woo,
But these are
she's an
my
expert. She is an expert.
these are my little fibers that I have, and they really come in handy. So those are the items that my must-haves that I carry in
They
my set
do.
bag with a ton more of different items. If you guys have any questions, drop them in um, our comments, and we'll be sure to answer as many as we possibly can. Um, and thank you very much.
Of Charisse,
Yeah.
I just wanted to say I remember I used your fibers one day when we did the when we were out doing that saloon scene.
Oh
Um
yeah.
what was that? It was remember when we were there and one of the stunt needed like some stubble and I'm like, let me use your
Oh yeah. Those
fibers.
fibers.
And yeah, you gave me some of those, so it helped. Yeah,
In
it
hand.
Are
helped a
you
lot.
guys talking about the show that we all did together? Is it?
Yes, we did do a show together with
Yes.
Vonda. Vonda was the
Yes,
designer
we
that we
did.
worked with government cheese together.
Government cheese.
Yes.
Yes.
And we had the
Yes.
honor of working together under Vonda, me, and Patrice. I worked in the hair department and Patrice worked in
Yes.
the makeup department. So we had the best time.
Right.
Would you agree to it, Patrice?
Oh,
We
I
had the
would.
best
We did. We
time.
had a good time.
Listen, me and Patrice have been on this ride for a while, from Bernie Mac to
Mhm.
government cheese. And it was just every time I tell you, just before we started, I probably heard backstage Patrice say, no matter whenever I get a show, I will always call Patrice. Say,
Yeah, I
Patrice.
heard that. I want to cry, but
I said,
thank you.
no, and it's true. I was like, she's like, well, I'm doing something. I said, okay. You know, because if you, you know, like I said, sometimes it's always better to be seen and not heard. And she comes in, Patrice comes in, she do her job. You know, when you know you're gonna come in there and you do what you got to do, and you have very little to say, as long as the job is done. I love her. She's great.
No,
She just
thank
loves what
you.
she do, and
Yes.
you know, I can always depend on her. If she tells me she's gonna be there, she's gonna be there, and she's gonna give
Hmm.
me everything she got. And I love
Yep.
that, and I love it. Thank you
That
for
was my
Thank
that
being
was
there
my
for me for so
continuity
long.
buddy.
thank you,
Yeah, a lot of
Vonda. That's so
continuity
sweet of you.
there.
Thank you. I just know that sometimes I can run my mouth, but then it seems like I get in trouble for it, so I just stop. I just don't say nothing.
Well, you know, sometimes you gotta run
You
your
know,
mouth. You
and
know,
y'all probably ain't been. Yeah, sometimes you
sometimes,
do,
but
and
I've
then I'm
never,
just like,
and
okay, let me just be quiet and just do my job.
I just think that I don't think sometimes it depends on who you're working with and
Go
the
ahead.
energy that you get. And I don't think we've ever had that where you have to
Yeah.
run your mouth. I think that we've always had such a
No,
wonderful relationship
no,
working together that it's always been an
yeah,
experience, you know.
I agree. Yeah, a good one. Yes.
Patrice, what are
Yeah,
some
I
of
did. If it's sometimes I would have to, huh?
who are some of your
What, Sharice?
mentors? Who are some of your mentors in the business?
My mentor. Um, one of my mentors who is no longer with us anymore, her name was Hallie D. Moore. And she had done, I don't know how many shows before I got up with her. The ones that I worked with her with was Princess Diaries 2
Mhm,
and uh Triple X2 and Christmas with the Cranks. I worked on
mhm,
those movies with her. And she always would bring me in no matter what. And she's like she taught me how to take apart my air gun piece by piece and clean it.
mhm.
Nobody else took the time to ever do like that, say something like that to me. And she would show me certain things and what to do, what to say, all that kind of stuff as I was coming up. It was early in my career. And
Mhm.
she was like, her name always stands out to me that she was like one of my favorite sweetheart and really treated me like an equal at the same time. So as not just a newbie. So I really liked her. Hallie Diamore was like one of my bigger mentors.
What would you tell your younger self right now coming up in the business? What would you do different if you could do something differently?
Um, I don't know if I'd do anything differently because I did all that I could do when I did at the time. The circumstances was what they were.
Mhm.
Um, but I would just tell my younger self to just be patient. It's going to work. It's going to happen. It just ain't your time yet. It will come and you'll be happy when it does.
I like that. I like that. What would you tell someone new who's trying to get into the
Thanks.
business?
Ooh wee. Yeah, it's a different business almost now than it was back then. Um, in certain aspects, you know. Um, but still I would say if this is really 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 what you want to do, um then just don't give up, just keep going, just don't even, if you need a little day job or whatever to keep yourself going, but always don't give up. It'll, like I said, for me it's gonna come. It's just gonna take some time, but just keep going, just keep going. If this is what you really believe in, don't give it up.
And if I can add to that, don't get discouraged if you go out and do one job and somebody may not like what you've done. don't think that that's the end of the world. Keep going,
Mhm.
because guess what? You
Yeah.
learn from it. You go again. Everybody's not gonna like you, and some people are gonna love you. But don't
Mhm.
let that be your last
Mm-hmm.
stop. Passion. Just keep going.
I definitely learned that
Yeah.
lesson.
Mm-hmm.
We all
That's
have.
good.
Yeah, because you are not a fit
Yeah.
for everyone. That's
No.
for sure.
No. No. And that's just life, you know? I mean, just even outside of work, everybody ain't gonna
Yes.
like you in life. And some people will love you in life. So that's just, part of being on this earth. You just have to figure out what, what fits for you, and know that people aren't gonna like you and some people are. And that's just how it is.
I think that's an important thing too to say too now, because a lot of younger people now are wearing everything. They're just wearing it all, and and they take everything to heart. And we can't do that. You got to understand that there are going to be some yes and there are going to be some no's. And that's not the end of the world. Just because you're going to run into some brick walls, that's okay. You get up, you try it again, and you keep moving. It's okay not to be liked. It's okay that you didn't get it right the first time. It is okay. Just keep going and know that whatever that's in your heart, it's there for a reason. Don't give up on it, and don't let life tell you that it's over because you didn't get it right the first time. Keep going. Keep going. That's what I want to tell them. Just keep going.
Yeah.
Go and tell them, Vonda.
Yes.
And I
Because
think,
they do. Every time we look
and
around, we
and I
hear
think
about
I
young
think
people talking about.
also, go ahead.
Go ahead, Patrice.
No, I was just gonna say, what's the whole thing about social media right now is really taking a toll on these young kids, in the sense that it's like, if they don't get enough likes, they get depressed. They don't, they're just out there for all of that attention,
Yeah.
instead of getting, you know, human contact, is what
Yeah.
is what really should that's what it should be about, instead of trying to see how many people is going to like your posts or whatever. And if they don't, they get really down behind that, and it's like, that's not real life. You got to participate in real life. And I think that's what these young kids are missing, and that's what they really need, because that's going to make the difference in their life.
Yeah.
I want to speak on that, especially in our business. Some of your most talented, most gifted people in TV and film have some of the smallest numbers on social media because they are working. They're too busy to be on
Yeah,
social media trying to keep up with posts and seeing who likes what they're doing. They just don't have time. We work long, long hours in our business, and social media is just not top priority for us. So you see some of the most talented
exactly.
people.
And you know why? That's because we have resumes
Right.
and not
Ooh,
like.
mic drop. Go on and drop it, Fonda. Mic drop.
Because that's what it is.
That's
And
what it
don't be
is.
fooled by it, because see what happens is everything we living in a time where everything is test and trial.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was going for the likes. There's been times I sat in front of people and they were asking me about my likes. Well, I don't have any likes. What are you talking about? I have a resume. I can give you
Exactly.
that. And
Mm-hmm.
someone was chose to do it with the likes
Mm-hmm.
over my resume. But see,
Right.
now
Yeah,
we're getting
yeah.
back to
How
the time
many?
because they've lost money, they've
Mm-hmm.
lost time dealing with likes. So I
Yes.
would say
Right.
to everyone, get you a resume, build that resume, because if they shut all of that down, you got your resume.
You have your resume.
Because
Exactly.
those likes go as soon as you cut off that
Right.
social media.
Exactly.
Right.
Your likes
Come
go.
on.
And also, this was a few years back. Our union president had said that a person went to uh, uh, an interview for a film, and the producer asked her, "How many followers do you have on Instagram?"
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, that's
Check
a
my
big difference in
resume.
your, yeah, you need a resume. But see, they're falling for that stuff. And it's like, that's not the same as a resume. I don't care how many people follow you. That means nothing.
Yes, but I think it's different now. I think
Mm-hmm.
now that they've gone through that whole trying to build up a team through that social media. What the industry has, it has different avenues you can go. You can be an influencer. You can be a makeup for film and television. You can work at Mac counter. You can do runways. You can do editorial. You have so many different areas that you can go in. And influencers, likes are everything.
Yeah.
Likes are everything.
Yeah.
But you do not have the ability to be able to run a show.
Absolutely.
You just don't.
That's the bottom line. That right there. That's the bottom line.
That's very true. Check my resume. I like that. Check my IMDb.
Yeah, because that's what you really want. I don't really want to look and see,
Right.
because you know what? If I go on your page and I'm looking at your likes, I'm looking at the likes of your makeup that you did on yourself most
Right.
of the time. So, and then it's not
Right.
showing the diversity
Right.
of your skills for when you come in that trailer. I don't know if you're going to be able to do everything that I need you to do. You might be able to do some beauty makeup, but then everybody got big, strong eyebrows because that's
Right.
what you're used to doing. No, it's so much more to it. Sometimes I need you not to do anything.
Exactly.
Do you know not to do that?
Right.
So it's so many things that we
Yeah.
have to know,
Right.
So that's why resume
Yeah.
over like.
Love it.
Exactly.
And some people
And
don't
I
realize
love, it's like they can do a pretty,
sometimes it's harder to do
I was just
nothing.
want to say they can do a beautiful makeup on themselves.
Yeah. I mean, that's what
Go
influencers
ahead.
do.
Go ahead, Therese.
Mhm. I said
Yeah.
sometimes it's harder to
Yeah.
do
Yeah. I
nothing.
was just going to say yes, I get it. It is. Sometimes it is. But I was going to say that, they do all these beautiful Instagram makeups on themselves, but I'm like, I want to see if you can do that same makeup on like a 55-year-old Asian woman. See, and see how that's going to transfer over. And it's not. You know what I mean? They can do beautiful makeups on themselves, but like Vonda say, I need to see what you could do on somebody else and see how that's going to work out. See how, if you can do more than just that.
Yeah. Do we have any questions for anyone, for Patrice or for Vonda or myself? Any questions before we end our live today? Any questions, anyone? Well, Patrice, we have
I
come
have
to
one
the
question
end.
for Patrice.
Okay.
Patrice, who is the
Oh,
most who is sometimes we work with people all the time and we never fan over too many people, but who's the person that you worked with
mhm.
that you felt like, oh my God, I'm really working with this person?
Um, wow. Golly, that's a lot. I mean, there's a few out there. One of my one of my favorites that I couldn't believe, and it's like it's always like in my earlier part of my career was Patrick Swayze.
Oh,
I
wow.
thought that he was like, because I'd seen Dirty Dancing and I had worked with his mom years ago before I became a makeup artist on a play down in West Hollywood somewhere. And but just to see him and he would kind of dance in the trailer sometimes. It was just really it was really striking kind of because I had to do his makeup.
Oh, wonderful.
And yeah,
What
and
about
I was just like, okay, but he was very, very sweet, and I really appreciated that because I was on a show where the department had left to do a movie, and I had to step up, and the producers, they just wanted people. The department heads to have this real heavy resume. They didn't care about the seconds or the third, and so I was the second and stepped up, and they didn't think that I could do it. And I did because
It's
it
you
was
always the
go,
best.
easy.
girl?
For me anyway.
I love those
Yes,
moments.
yes.
Mhm.
So I did that. Yeah. And yeah, because I'd only been in the industry like maybe about 3 or 4 years. That was it. Maybe
Oh,
maybe three. And yeah. And I had did that. No, exactly. It was 2. It was 2 years. I was only in it for 2 years, and I had to do all that stuff. So it was, and that was one of the shows where you didn't have to do a lot of makeup, and that was the show that was all nights.
Uh,
So
That's when it's great. That's when you know, like, wow, I'm
anyway,
doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yes,
I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be.
right,
That's awesome.
exactly. Yep.
Oh,
I love those moments.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, ladies, we have come to the
Hmm.
end of our live. I'm so honored to have actually been in the presence of both of you amazing ladies, and I want to thank you for being here. Patrice, do you want to tell our guests where they can find you or where they can follow you?
Follow me. Oh, you can follow me on Instagram at number NO1 cutie, CUTIE.
Well, go, cutie.
And on Facebook.
She's a cutie.
Yeah, that's right. and just Patrice Bankhead on Facebook. That's it.
And Bonda, what about you?
On Facebook, I'm Vonda K. Morris. And on Instagram, I am Vonda Kyemor. Vonda K. Moore.
And I am Sharice Slade. If you would like to follow us, we would love for you to follow us. If this is your first time tuning in on Vanity's Live, make sure you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and also YouTube. We will have this video live for you guys to review it and share with your friends. We want to thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you next Sunday live at 5. Have a great Sunday. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye. Love you guys. I love all of you.
Bye.
It's just a pleasure.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for having me. I love you guys. Miss you. Bye.
Bye bye.